ENTJs and INFJs. My grandpa was an ENTJ, one of them. I have a friend who's an ENTJ, and I also have a language partner that's an ENTJ. And I know another ENTJ too. She doesn't live around here. And I think I also lived with an ENTJ, cohabited one time. I think she was an ENTJ. So I've been around a fair number of ENTJs. ENTJs have a supervisory relationship with an INFJ, according to socionics. I used to not like it. I used to feel nervous with it. I also used to feel frustrated, but that was kind of because of I didn't realize the difference between perceivers and judgers. So you would try to impress upon them the degrees of what it was that you were experiencing, but then they experience the degrees in the other functions, not in the feeling and thinking functions. So that was part of it also. And, just cognitively speaking, it's kind of hard to make an impression on an ENTJ, on someone that has a supervisory relationship, socionics wise, at least, like when you first meet them anyway. And I don't know, I used to feel kind of aggravated about that. I think INFJs kind of worry about doing something too well or sticking out because they don't want to make other people feel bad. But ENTJs do not have a problem with that at all. And, cognitively speaking, an ENTJ is not going to be impressed with you very, very easily, at least, when they first meet you. So that's a nice thing for an INFJ. And also, a really nice thing about ENTJs is that they have cognitive motivation to push you out of your comfort zone and to help you develop. And gee, that's great. I mean, as an INFJ, that's like what you're trying to do for all your family and friends. So it's really nice when someone is trying to do that for you. I think it's really important with ENTJs. One, you need to make sure that you, as an INFJ, that you put your NI out there. I met my friend at a certain event that we always, both went to, but like when we went like the first time someplace else to hang out, I was explaining to her about like the personalities and stuff, and I told her that I can see what people are like. She's like, what am I like? So I told her, and I think that's probably a big part of the basis of what we have today. Also, with TE people, you need to make sure that you say what you think around them. INFJs, I don't know if your blind function is like you practically don't have it, or it's just like not very accessible to you or something. I don't know exactly how it is that works, but in any case, it's not available for us. And TE is what enables you to just say what you think if it's something you haven't thought about before, particularly. The TI system is very painstaking and complex. You can't accept anything into the TI thought system without that single component making sense with every other single component that's already in your system. Whereas TE is kind of more of a lawyer kind of thing. It's more based on the situation, and it goes more for breadth rather than depth. As TI person is going to maybe feel a little bit of disgust or something almost, or embarrassed to go and just blurt something out or just say something without having thought it through carefully. And if we were going to express what it was that we were thinking, it would be in all these points, and it would be a pretty long thing. But TE is kind of more about short, snappy answers and just something right there. And a person that deals in TE, one, they really need to know what you think, because that's how they relate to people. And two, TE is a lot more flexible than TI is. And so if you say something that you think, they're not going to hold you to that forever. That's just what you're thinking that moment. So it's not really that serious of a thing. I'm not going to say it's less complex, but it's, by its nature, it's more universal, so you have to put it in, it expresses itself in a more simple way. I'm not saying it is more simple. That's why I'm saying that if you have TI, you can feel pretty embarrassed about going into saying something, but you really do have to do that, with the TE people. INFJs and ISFJs, we have the TI, but then we barely have the TE. We kind of have, I've heard kind of like the most pure TI. Basically what this translates to is that we're like the most original thinkers. We have the most original ways of looking at things, and we are very unique in the way that we think, because TE is like an antenna that it can pick up on what everybody else is thinking. It can also express itself in a way that everybody else can understand its thoughts. But because it's picking up on that, it can kind of be influenced by it. And so we're the least influenced by the way that everybody else is thinking, be that for good or bad. So if you're a thinker and you want to find some new thoughts and some new perspectives, find you an INFJ or ISFJ. But with the people that have TE, you have to literally express to them how you are, and if you will put your thoughts out there, and they'll see that they're different thoughts, they're going to make a unique space for you, which is what you need. TE has to do with it's kind of a just do it and just say it kind of function. It's very good in the moment. So TE people, ENTJs, are really good at telling people off. In fact, that's one of their main challenges in life, is to bite their tongue and not do it all the time. INFJs could not be more different. It's really difficult for us to, tell people that something's bothering us, or tell somebody off, even if it's for their own good. And there's a lot of reasons. It's not a lot of reasons, but there's more reasons than just the TE. And part of that is that, well, one, with TE, it's practically no TE. It's kind of hard for us to get our thoughts out there. And also, ENTJs have FE for their 8th function, so they're pretty good at it. They do it kind of as a service to others. I've heard someone describe it, but they value it on their list of preferred functions as their 8th out of 8. INFJs, we have FE for our 2nd function. So if we are going to if we feel bad about something, for example, then maybe we talk to somebody else about it, they are also going to feel bad about it. So if we're talking to somebody about something, we need to talk to somebody about something, it can be a sacrifice for us, because then we not only have our own feelings to deal with on it, we also have their feelings that they're going to feel after we talk to them. For the same reason, we also won't gripe or complain or that sort of things to people, which is really nice to ENTJs. You can do that. It doesn't bother them. They just think it's cute. But because you're going to make the other person feel bad, and then it's just going to make you feel worse, But another thing with ENTJs is that they have SE in their 3rd function, and as a 3rd function, and so SE has to do with coordination. It has to do with territory, has to do with assertiveness / aggression, that sort of thing. And so ENTJs have it as one of their middle functions. It's their 3rd function. And so I say middle as in, because looking at it, you have 2 groups, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, 6, 7, 8. See, I can't count. I hate numbers. Anyway, the 2 and the 3 and the 6 and the 7 are going to be more stable functions, since they're in the middle. And anyway, ENTJs have that SE is one of their middle functions, and INFJs do not. We have it actually as our 4th function, the same as the INTJ. So what this translates to is that, for example, on assertiveness, we are either in the 4th function, in the 4th position, the function is either not there enough or there too much, and so you don't really have very much control over it. at all. So with an INFJ, what this can translate to is that we can be like entirely like too meek and mild, or like we'll just like be over the top in the other direction, and we don't really have an in between. So this can kind of catch us up if we're not like around someone a lot, and you can have opportunities, you know, to say things in a subtle way and that sort of thing, and have some kind of context and dynamics to work with, and, you know, like start that way from the beginning. Then you really don't have, if you don't say anything to begin with, you don't really have an appropriate place to say it until it's like a huge problem, you know. So that is how you get the INFJ door slam and stuff. But you know, I would say that, like, for example, if you look at TE is a very sequential kind of function. When, you know, it has to do with doing things. For example, there's a certain way that you do things. You're doing this step, this step, this step, this step, this step. You know, INFJs, we can learn things like in all different orders and from all different sources, and our brain will piece it together. But I'm just saying that, like, on TE, you know, saying that something has to be done in a certain order, for example, I would say, and this is just my rough guesstimation, that 25% of the time